Welcome back viewers, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries and anyone with ears or other sound detection organs. Hope you enjoy. We are continuing with Chaos and Mayhem written by Lord Henry 7878. There is a link to the playlist in the doobly-doo. Chaos and Mayhem, a sexy space babes story part 26. The gunship orbited the outside of the mall, its guns pointed at the carnage inside. Inside the cockpit, Agent Pendajo was confused. What had originally been a sting operation was now a massive gunfight between the interior's gilded glaives, the militia, and armed assailants, most likely human assailants. "This is the interior," Pendajo said. She directed the pilots to take her up a little. "You have been found guilty of treason and armed insurrection against the Empress. You will lay down your arms and submit yourself for her judgment." After a moment the roof doors opened and a few of the armed gunmen walked out. Wait, that actually work. They were carrying a struggling gilded glaives agent, and promptly tossed her off the roof before going back downstairs. Pendajo sighed. She signaled to the pilots again. "Take us down. Deploy everyone. We'll take them from above."
Inside, things were going about as well as you'd expect.
Uncle Bill and I crawled away as the bullets and lasers shot over our heads. I, personally, was grateful as fuck for the gas masks. Even the shills whose helmets had sealed had still gotten a mouthful of the thick white, oddly peppery fog. That was the problem with automatic shit like that. Human reaction speeds were quicker. The SWAT team was doing something I thought was really cool. As they fought, they called out a single shill at a time, and they all fired on the one, overloading their armor. Upper left. By the stairs, I heard Uncle Lyle yell. And sure enough, they all opened up on the one. I, though, had a habit I needed to satisfy. A certain member of Head Splitter needed to die. Preferably the one who sold out the remaining member of her team to get little ol' me. Agent Chilvos had retreated off to the side to watch the Chaos and Mayhem go down. She crouched behind the counter where the cashiers used to stand. I ducked under the gunfire again and made my way to the store and was immediately greeted by a fist to the face, sending my gas mask flying. "Not so fun now, is it?" Chilvos picked me up, throwing me through a table of glass display cases. "This must have been a jewelry store. You've had it easy so far." Spack, she booted me in the stomach, sending me tumbling back to the floor. Reguy, another stomp. Carameling, a powerful soccer kick sent me into the wall. All pushovers. They care too much about not hurting those who don't need to be hurt. Me, I geared up to grab her foot when she kicked again, but she grabbed my face and ground it into the glass. "Yeah, that hurts, doesn't it?" I swear she was enjoying my yelling. Me? I'm the meanest brotherfucker you ever met. Yeah, well, I was the meanest motherfucker she ever met. I grabbed her hand, dragging it through the glass. She howled as the sharp edges cut her flesh to ribbons. She responded by grabbing my hand and, well, I don't know how to describe it. She grabbed 2 fingers in each huge purple mitt and tore my hand in half down the middle. I swear that was the loudest I ever screamed in my life. The pain was indescribable. This must have been how Jesus felt, not that I practiced that particular religion. Uncle Bill recognized that screaming. That was the kind of pain that only someone skilled in hurting could inflict. He'd heard it many times, but this was the one person he never wanted to hear it from. He finished off the shill he was currently fighting with a fist to the throat and a stomp to the knee. The soldier collapsed with her knee bending a good 45 degrees backwards. He made his way to the source of the hollering. What he saw made him furious. By this time the yelling was little more than choking. The two were lying on the floor, drenched in red and blue blood. Chilvos had her arm around Tom's throat and seemed intent on crushing his windpipe. Tom's good hands scrabbled around, searching for anything he could use to get out of that. The other had been ripped in half. With a mighty roar, Uncle Bill picked Chilvose up to her feet, suplexing her head into the wall. He ground it hard against the rough concrete, leaving a bloody blue streak. He concluded by getting up and stomping her face in. The nasty crunch of her nose could be heard. Uncle Bill wasn't sure what she did, but next thing he knew, he was on the floor, and Chilvose was running for it. He quickly weighed his options. Tom needed serious help, but Chilvose was getting away. Know what? Fuck it. Best of both worlds, right? He dragged Tom behind the counter and ran after his quarry. Chilvose wouldn't get far. He bounded after her, narrowly avoiding gunfire as he made his way up the stairs. By now the humans had begun to lose their ground. Their group tactics had given way to small shootouts in groups and on their own. That didn't matter anymore. This interior agent hadn't just hurt his boy, she'd mutilated him. And sure, Tom wasn't his biological son, but he cared all the same. Goddamn, these Chilvati had no stamina. Agent Chilvose was slowing down and huffing and puffing soon as she got up the stairs. Uncle Bill caught up almost immediately, tackling the interior agent and sending them both to the floor. He straddled the agent, grabbing her head and slamming it face first into the floor. Repeatedly. Soon the old tile was cracked and splattered with bright blue blood. Chilvose, though, still had some fight in her. She managed to turn her head and bit down hard on Uncle Bill's hand, tearing off a finger. While he was distracted by the pain, she crawled out from under him, running for it once again. Uncle Bill chased after her, tripping on something large and squishy, a Chilvati corpse.
God damn it!
He groaned. The blood loss was making him woozy too. He tried to pick himself up when he noticed something. The extension cord. This was the unlucky militia member he'd used to get downstairs, or maybe it was Tom who did this one in. He picked up the other end of the cord, getting to his feet and running after Chilvose again. It really said something about the Shills that a 70-year-old man, albeit one in far better shape than most humans, easily caught up with an interior agent at the peak of physical condition. Soon he was on her once again, wrapping the extension cord around her neck. Uncle Bill dragged Chilvose to her feet, running towards the railing. Interior agent firmly in hand, the two of them sailed over the side. Uncle Bill plunged to the floor, but Agent Chilvose's fall ended with a quick jerk and a crack. Mission accomplished. Uncle Bill lay on the floor, watching the body sway like a pendulum. The cord unraveled and the former interior agent dropped to the floor with a thump. All across the mall, the militia and Guildglaives agents looked around, confused. Their commanding officer was dead. What did they do now? Unfortunately for them, this confusion was just what the state officers needed. They regrouped, and the formerly matched fighting between the two became a mopping up as the former cops swept across the shopping center. The floors became slick like soap with alien blood. These weren't the nice clean alien weapons. Human guns made holes. Are you people insane? Military advisor to the governor Rishi Kosmanos demanded. You see the levels of terrorism in the region, and decide that kidnapping the families of perpetrators was a good idea? And then what? Covering your ass when it blows up in your face doesn't work, so you authorize one of your own to put another up as bait? You fucking morons. Normally one never talked to nobility or the Interior's directorate that way, but Rishi was furious. Her face was bright blue, complete with the veins in her temples. She simply didn't care. You have single-handedly made the situation in Maryland that much worse. If you will allow us to speak, we will. What? Pull out another shit for brains plan to make things even worse. The door opened. Advisor Rishi. Not now. Rishi snapped as she threw an omnipad at the unfortunate aide. The poor girl quickly closed the door with a quick eek. The human shrink Rishi had been meeting with lately constantly warned her temper was growing out of control. She took a few deep breaths once she realized what she'd just done. Agent Yeskirator is furious that she had, been used for bait without her consent, and, b, not informed the operation was happening. I am going to order a full investigation into interior misconduct in the state of Maryland. Anything less than full compliance will be regarded as treason. You can't do that. The head of expenses said, aghast. We decide what's treason. Rishi tapped a screen. Just did. She snarled as she turned off the screen and poked her head out the door. Hey, you still there? The aide cowered a little in the corner. Look, I'm sorry for snapping at you. Rishi pinched the bridge of her nose. And, she sighed. And throwing the omnipad at you? I'll get you a bottle of liquor or something. The humans make something called Tito's. It's really harsh but mixes well with a lot of stuff. What did you need? I've compiled a list of interior agents who've expressed dissatisfaction with interior conduct since the Imperium arrived on Earth. She passed Rishi the list. Track tick, this is 2 people. The interior likes to silence agents who don't follow the company line. The aide shrugged. So we talking like a fifth of this Tito's stuff? Sure. Rishi nodded and sighed. Guess agents Tanu and Nineveh will have to do.
In the interior's operations room, things happened, usually operations.
In this case, in the hours after the failed operation, data officers were keeping track tabs on those they knew were involved. Others were milling about the darkened room, or poring over maps and satellite imagery. All right, what we got? The operations director demanded as she burst in. The director wants answers 30 seconds ago. Some of the more fragile data officers sighed or got together the courage to face the scary bitch. One, though, wasn't scared. Thomas Steinberg has disappeared. William Judd has disappeared. Lyle Steinberg and Arturo Zavala have disappeared. As the officer kept going on, the operations director became more and more annoyed. What was it with the pinkies and disappearing? Here's another question. What in the Sea of Souls happened last night? There was a vein popping in the ops director's eyeball. End of chapter. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss any episode and do all the other YouTube stuff. Visit and support the author. All the relevant links are in the doobly-doo, and comment your opinions, good or bad. And I'll see you next time. And as usual, have a wonderful day.